90 years old?
I'm 90 years old.
Jeez.
I'm pretty old. I feel it.
I'm 46 in February, and I feel it.
Oh, you're young.
What were you doing at 46?
See, where was I? You was my first grandchild.
Where?
Where the heck was it? Oh, we was living down there at Louisville.
Lived in Nebraska, Louisville?
Yeah, we was in Nebraska. We lived down there at Louisville, and your mom and dad. They must have been there because I seen you in the hospital with the baby. Oh, you.
Well, let's see. So they take 40 from 90. That puts you at 50. And take 6 from there. You were 48 or 38.
38. 48, I think.
My math wrong. Hang on. So you're 90 right now.
Yeah.
And I'm 46. So if I take 40 from 90, that's 50. Then take the 6 from there, that's 45. Okay. You're my age.
Oh yeah, I guess so.
When I was born, that's what you were doing. You come to the hospital to watch me, see me get born.
I seen you. Yeah, I'll come to the
Yeah, because 45 and 45 is 90.
Well, I guess that's right.
That's
Long
crazy.
Time.
Man. So you're all living in Louisville. Grandpa had the dairy farm?
Not then. We had the dairy farm down here at Louisville in Muskogee.
Yeah.
I don't know, we did so much moving around, I can't remember where we were.
How old were you when you had your last child?
I was
7 kids?
Yeah. Let's see, Chris was born, he'll be 70, won't he? Gosh.
Yeah, he'll be 70. My dad will be 70.
I think I was about 22 or...
Well, how old's Louise right now?
Jeez. How old is she? I forget. She was born, when we come back to Nebraska, she was 6 months old.
6 months.
So, how old is she?
Well, if Dad's going to be 70, you were 20 when you had Dad. You were 20 when you had my dad.
No, I think I was 22.
Well, you're 90 right now, and Dad's about to be 70. That's 20. Well, Dad's not going to be 70. Dad's going to be 68, isn't he?
No, I thought he was going to be 70. That's what he said.
No, he going to be 70.
She's 70.
Aunt Debbie.
Gad is getting...
Debbie. Yeah? My dad's not going to be 70 this month, is he? He's going to be 68,
69.
Isn't he?
No,
69.
Dave's 68, so Chris will be 69.
So you were 21.
I thought Chris said he was going to be 70.
He'll be, because he's a year older than Dave. And Dave just turned 68, so Chris will be 69.
In November what?
5th.
5th.
I thought he said he was going to told me he's going to be 70.
No, 69. So you were 21 when you had Dad.
She was
I was 20.
19 when she
You
got married.
know what she was doing 45 years ago?
45 years ago?
Yeah. She was in Omaha at Bergen Mercy Hospital watching me get born.
Well,
Yeah, that's
So I'm
right.
45.
Yeah, I had to stop and think. I got married 40.
I remember that.
I'll be married 45 years. Yeah.
Yeah, she's
Yeah.
she's 90 now. So
I'll be married 44 years.
44.
Yeah, because you were a year older when we got married. So. Gosh, what happened to time?
Well,
So you're gonna be 45?
46 in February. But
Oh, so, okay, then 45. Then we've been married 45 years in March. Okay.
Let's see, what is this year?
2020, Mom.
2020?
2021 almost.
Almost, yeah.
You gonna vote this year?
What?
You gonna vote?
I'll get her over there
You
and
gonna
put
take
the
her to
thing for Biden.
What? Are you kidding me? Are you really?
No, I am not kidding you. I know you're
Okay,
Trump. I could just
okay.
tell you're Trump.
But don't influence Grandma who she wants to vote for.
Well, she does watch the news, Mom. How do you feel about Trump?
Well, it's kind of 50-50. I don't know.
How you feel about Biden?
I don't know about him.
Yeah, so she hasn't really. Trump, you just hear so much about.
Yeah,
You know why?
Wading is. She talks to Wading, her sister in Reno. Oh, well, her and her husband were always political because that's what they did.
Democrats.
She is. You want to hear somebody talk? Yeah, wading in politics. How does she feel about Trump?
she don't like him.
Nope. Yeah, she's still political.
I'm
She's
surprised
like,
you didn't do mail-in voting. I think y'all all didn't do mail-in voting. Y'all didn't do.
Because we're out here to church.
I know, but you got to get out and go.
We go out, Justin. I wear our mask. Me and Dave both wear our mask going in and out of stores.
Right.
At church, I wear my mask every Sunday. You know,
Were you going to take her to vote?
she hasn't voted in quite a few years. I don't think she's even registered in this area. She's still registered probably over there when they lived on Dakota.
I think I voted. I've voted since I've been
Is it
here.
here at my house?
Yeah.
Well, maybe you have. It's been
But I
13
remember
years. Oh my
going
gosh.
down to vote
That's
with Dave.
okay, then you must be registered. Well, I can put you in your wheelchair and bring you over there.
I think I was. I know I did. 'Cause
Well, if you went with Dave, then you must have been registered here then. I knew you were registered, but I don't know if you're over here.
I'm going to go get you a Trump hat, Grandma.
You're gonna give me what?
I'll go get you a Trump hat.
You're gonna give me a
Truthfully, I'm independent. As
Oh,
you
yeah.
can see, I got Pemberton out front. I like Pemberton.
A what?
Pemberton.
Oh, Pemberton.
Yeah, because
The
he's
one-
Republican. But I'm not going to change my register. I'm a registered Republican, but I'm not going to change it because I'm neither. I'm more independent. I'm who the person.
You know, I've voted Democrat before. I mean, if I believe
But
in
think
the
about it,
individual.
Joe Justin. You really are going to vote for who you like and what they do, and you're never going to like all the Democrats or all the Republicans. So I am a declared independent, but I won't change my registration because then when it's time to vote other times, you're limited on who you can vote on.
Right.
So I just stayed what I am. But no, I can't even tell you I'm a Republican or Democrat anymore. Because you listen to all of them. Politics go over my head, I ain't gonna lie. They get so deep sometimes it's like, I don't understand them. How,
I agree.
and you can't believe no matter who it is, you can't believe them. Think about it.
No.
Biden, I know all about Biden, we don't know all about Trump. But Trump's a little more, he is so boisterous and so,
At least you know where he stands.
to a point, but you know he lies too.
They all do. They're
Yeah, oh, I
politicians.
know that, but he makes it quite obvious when he lies. There's no beating around, just. And Biden will never know
Do you think,
everything's the way he is.
Biden took all that money from
China?
China and Russia and his
I don't
boy
know.
And, who knows?
But they're also starting to question that with Trump too, with stuff.
Yeah,
So,
I don't know.
and all the money he paid taxes. I mean, think about it: $750 in 1 year he paid taxes.
But we're just going to offset each other's vote. That's all we're going to do.
Do what?
We're going to offset each other's vote. That's all we're going to do.
I don't know. Something's got to happen.
Well,
This
we're in
country's a mess.
you know you live in a Republican state. It's red all the way. I mean,
Yeah,
Trump's-
this is all Republican here. It is. It is. It's really funny. Is to me, that's when I started changing several years ago. It was like, if you're a Republican, Democrat, great. But sometimes you close your eyes to the truth, whatever party is, just because you're that Democrat or that Republican. You close your eyes to facts.
Yeah.
I really believe that. You're just
You gotta do what
Republican
you gotta do.
or Democrat. So yeah, I've become more.
I don't know what to think, really.
Well, don't worry about it. Your age, I wouldn't really worry about it.
I'm not
I might
worried.
worry more about it for my kids and grandkids, truthfully, because me and Dave are getting up in years too. So, how's your dad?
I know one thing. I finally found out what gummy bears were. Marijuana.
No, Mom. There's gummy bear candy too, and they have gummy bear vitamins, and they have
Did
gummy
somebody
bear
give-
constipation.
Did somebody give you THC gummies?
No, Louise does the plant. They have the marijuana. They both got a card, and he grows his own marijuana for me. And
Well, I remember when
Grandma,
I
did you
was
get
up-
she
stoned?
gave it was a constipation, Mom. Louise
Did you get
said.
stoned?
No. Jeannie was saying that there's medical marijuana.
Yeah, there is. There
Well,
is.
yeah, she said that's what Louise gave me.
Where were Jeannie, well, Louise gave you some gummy bear for constipation when you were there last time, but you couldn't chew them because of your teeth.
We're gonna drug test you, Grandma. See what
Well, she wouldn't pass because they got her own
you do.
stuff.
She never gave me any when I was up there last time.
No.
I mean, that other time.
Yeah. That was for constipation, but you couldn't chew it. Yeah.
But
She's
she
getting
told
over
me
an
she-
infection with her
Louise
mouth and
gave me-
stomach right now. She has to swish and swallow.
Well, anyway, she told me that Louise gave me that was medical marijuana.
Oh, look, Jeannie probably just assumed. or just
Well,
say
I
it?
don't know. She seemed to tell me that Louise knew what she was doing.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
How's Tommy doing? Have we talked to Tommy anymore?
Tommy Offit?
No, Tommy.
Uncle Tommy. Oh, well, he's in California yet. He's
Right.
the same age as Mom, exactly.
He never come back to Oklahoma again.
No, I guess didn't used to tell me once, not too long ago. Mary said that Tommy went out in his car and drove like 100 miles around, came back home, couldn't go any further.
Well,
He
he
tried.
had heart surgery. He's not
Yeah.
even supposed to be
And his sons,
driving.
they wouldn't let him fly because of his heart.
You still
Yeah.
mad at him for squirting you with that water hose through the window?
What?
You still mad at him for squirting you with that water hose through the window? You and
Remember when you
Grandpa
were
first
young?
got married?
Remember when you were young, the story how Tommy and Jimmy were so, and Arthur were so ornery?
Oh yeah, it was terrible.
Uncle Tommy squirted you with some water or something through a window, and
No, Dad did that, didn't he?
What?
Squirted you through the window of the water hose because you were in bed?
Yeah, I was.
Dad did that.
oh,
Tommy could've.
Grandpa did that?
Yeah.
I thought you said Tommy did that.
I don't know. No, he.
Were you
sure-
sleeping or something? They squirted you?
I didn't want to get out of bed. I guess. And
oh.
Dad squirted me in the window.
Dad never, Grandpa, I don't know if you remember that one thing about him. Laziness, sleeping in, there's certain things. Like when we were young, if we were watching TV, Dad thought we had too much time on our hands. He gave us chores to do.
So that's what my dad. That's where he got it from.
Your dad
Because I
did that
guarantee,
too?
if I stayed out till 2, 3 in the morning,
Yeah.
he was getting me up at 6:30, 7 o'clock. If you can stay out all goddamn night and
Oh,
party,
yeah.
you can get up like everybody
That
else.
was Dad. That was Dad. We never slept in. Oh gosh, you just, unless you were actually throwing up or something, you just didn't stay in bed. Dad was that way. But we only had 3 channels. We didn't have cable and all that.
Oh, Tommy and me was always one clashing. We was always arguing and fighting.
You and Tommy did?
Yeah. But he was a good guy. He just outspoken and ornery.
Oh, well, Wiedel's not that way. Well, we don't know if that's Wiedel or Sponsel. We're starting to think it's more Sponsel, Grandma Wiedel.
Well, out of all 7 of your kids, which one was the hardest to raise?
And what?
Which one was the hardest to raise?
Out of us 7 kids.
Oh.
I bet you I know who you're going to say. We're down to 2 of them.
What?
Not as an adult. As a teenager, who is the hardest to raise? Not as an adult.
I'm thinking back.
I bet you're going to say Joey. Because he dropped out of school, hitchhiked down here.
Well, yeah, he made us mad.
Yeah, I think Joey was. You could like she could say some of the trouble she went through with us older ones. But when you think back, Joe, Steve, and Louise gave you more trouble than us older kids
Yeah, I guess they did.
because you're older too.
Were the girls easier than the boys? The boys harder than the...
I don't know. It was about even.
Well, Jeannie didn't do nothing just until she graduated and went to work and got in the wrong crowd. Jeannie was.
Angel?
Oh, she was. She was so shy and so quiet. She never did nothing until she graduated
Oh, yeah.
and got into a wild crowd. And I remember her making marijuana brownies all the time, bringing them to work. I know Jeannie did all. God, Jeannie did all.
Oh, yeah, she was the one.
But that was after she was out of the house.
already raised.
Yeah.
I mean, she was just.
I'd say Louise and Joey probably gave you the most stress in high school.
Yeah, they did. I don't know.
And they say the 70s kids were
Steve,
bad.
he was just kind of quiet and mild.
Yes.
Did my dad fight with his dad the most between all the
He
boys?
didn't really fight with them.
No,
he
did
got
Chris
interested
fight
in
with...
your mother when he was only, what was it? What was he when he started going with your mother?
He was at 18 or 19. He was a senior
Something
year, I
like-
think he started dating Linda. Pretty sure.
He was out of high school, I think.
Did Dad went to Louisville, Mom went to Millard or something? Or
Cheapers.
Where Linda...
was
go to
she in Louisville
school.
too?
Did Linda go to Louisville? I think she did. You know, I can't... Do you remember where Linda went to high school? Did she go to Louisville?
Yeah, I remember.
Was it Millard, like Justin said? Was it a town around Louisville? Because Chris was 5 years older than me. When you're 18 and 13, that's a big difference then, you know.
Cheapers.
Pay attention.
Some of the things.
I
that
remember her
kids
being
did,
in
I don't
Louisville.
remember
You and
any
Grandpa
of it.
didn't want my mom and dad to be together, did you?
Hmm?
You and Grandpa didn't want my mom and dad to be together.
No,
Dad
not in
was,
the beginning.
because dad was Catholic and my mom was Protestant or something? Or?
No, she was actually an atheist. She was a proclaimed atheist
Oh, was
at that
she?
time, yeah.
Well, they was both rebellious.
Well, they ended up going out to West Virginia. Is that where your grandparents lived?
Yeah.
West Virginia?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, they was in Omaha, weren't they?
They come back.
They came back, yeah.
And they came back. And
They went out
your
to
grandparents lived over there in Plattsmouth.
Charles and Myrna.
Yeah, we used to go visit them. They'd come over to the house once in a while.
I can't remember when we went down there first. I think that's where. Did she give Linda her baby shower there, or a wedding shower? Because I remember going down there. Either for the baby shower or wedding shower. I think your grandma. I'm thinking.
Somebody had a baby shower for your mother there in Louisville, one of her relatives.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember who it was, though.
She's buried there now. Mom is.
Hmm?
My mom's buried there.
I know she's right there. We went by and seen it
in
about 10, 15 years ago. Me and Dave, when we went up to a football game. Because I also, at that time, when I was 15, I had a boyfriend that died, and he was buried in the same cemetery.
In Millard.
So it was right down the highway. What's that highway between Louisville and Plattsmouth?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
66? It's right on the main highway, right? Is that where your mom was buried? I remember seeing hers, and then that.
Yeah.
Linda was buried.
I mean, the town's Millard.
Millard?
Is that
Okay.
right? Millard,
I'm
yeah.
trying to think where
Oh,
Millard's at.
Millard? Yeah, I know it.
I remember it.
It's right outside Louisville.
Yeah. It's not just a little town like.
Dang it. There's so much I don't remember, and there's so much I do remember. I don't know. There's so much to remember. I
Some
remember
of you
way
want to
back
remember.
when, you know, like back in the 30s and 40s when I was growing up, like Depression and the war. I can remember those things, and I'm starting to get into not sure when.
Do you remember as kids growing up, though?
Oh, yeah.
Quite a bit? Yeah.
But I can't remember who was orneriest. It was all ornery.
Yeah, I'm trying to think with my kids. Scott probably gave us the most worries, but all three of those boys knew how to party too much.
Who did the spanking? You or Grandpa?
Probably me.
Yeah.
Now, when I get really mad at him, I remember a couple times he picked Scott. It was probably Christopher. He was Mr. Mouth. I don't remember what he said, but he got real mouthy, and Dave just picked him up, put him up against the wall, and says, "Don't try." Whatever it was. I just remember that. But
I mean, like Grandma and Grandpa, when y'all were getting raised, who did the spankings?
you know, probably Dad, but I don't remember getting. I remember once I was 8 or 9. I was on the floor throwing a tantrum, and Dad swatted my leg, and I never did that again. But I don't remember you and Dad spanking me, and I don't remember getting a lot of spankings. I'm sure we got swatted, but
No, I guess not.
I think the boys got more spankings than us girls. I think Mark and Chris probably got more spankings.
Well, I
than
always
anybody.
told him not to hurt, hit girls. Like,
Yeah.
you got kind of rough with the boys.
Yeah, I think Mark and Chris got some pretty good whoopings. Now I remember when Joey,
Spankings,
the
they got
story was
really
after I
bad.
was married. Joey come home up that basement up there in Omaha.
Oh, he was drunk.
One too many times and made Dad mad. And Dad pushed him back down the stairs. But Joe said to this day he don't remember feeling no pain. That's how bad. Now Louise, she come home high once, 12 or 13,
Oh,
and
yeah.
Dad strapped her leg. But in elementary she got kicked out because she was smoking marijuana in the.
Yeah, they
Yeah, think about it. Those guys were wilder than me and Chris and Mark. We didn't in elementary and stuff. We didn't. Yeah.
Yeah, we moved right by a Catholic school and church and acted worse than ever. Didn't do no good.
Joe and Steve dropped out, and Louise got
I
kicked
remember
out, and
the
had to go to the public
brothers
school.
up there that taught the school, they would go around and check all the cars in the parking lot because the kids used for marijuana. They was always doing that.
Well, they just have dogs now, don't they, Justin?
Yeah, they still
They have
do.
dogs.
Well, the brothers used to go check for marijuana.
Well, like Christopher said, it's so hard with that marijuana because so many people have the legal license now.
Yeah.
And so if the kids come to school and you can smell the marijuana on them, all they have to say is, "My parents have a license." You can't do
Right.
anything about it anymore.
Well, yeah, Ted Jeannie was telling me all this stuff.
Oh, but she works up there, yeah.
Well, I know marijuana. Norman grows his own marijuana.
You got a license, yeah. I think
Yeah,
you're only
he
allowed
got a
6 plants
license,
each,
so
I
he grows
guess.
His own marijuana, I guess.
Well, Dave's sister and her husband do. They moved up in Florida. They got a house up by outside of Cookson, out there, and they got theirs because they're in their. Gosh, he'll be 70 and she's 65, 66. They got marijuana plants too and a license up there. And Florida had all that too, I think. I don't like smoke, so I don't think I. And I remember in high school when I did smoke it, all I wanted to go to sleep. I just thought, what's the purpose of? I'd rather have a beer. It's never did anything for me.
Yeah, I just seem to drink.
If I had bad pain, I'd take the gummies instead of smoke because I don't like smoke. But
I eat a gummy every now and then just to chill. I mean, just if I'm just tired and want to chill.
yeah,
But I just soon have a beer.
but you have to have a license to get the gummies too, don't you?
My wife does. I don't.
She has a license to get
Yeah,
them.
you can get them.
Yeah.
Well, I think Louise has got she got a license or something.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, she was telling me all this stuff.
We're the 70s. Well, Louise's the 80s high school. She's the 80s. Her husband's the 70s. He's older. I don't know. We're all different.
Mm-hmm.
We're all different.
I don't know.
That's why we all got a lot of the same characteristics as kids, but yet we're all just so different. That makes sense. Well, how's your dad and Jerry doing? I never
I don't know.
see them.
They just work and go through the motions of life, I guess.
But your dad, I can't believe he's still working. Does he think he's working because of Jake, you think?
No,
No?
because he's not good at sitting.
Oh, I knew that.
If he,
Yeah, but he
if
got
he
those
quit-
rental houses
If he quits
keep him
working,
busy.
he just soon die.
Yeah, but all those rental houses, you think those will keep him busy?
I mean, they do a little bit, but not like you'd think. I mean,
Well, I don't think his job's a stressful job.
he likes it.
Yeah.
It gives him meaning because, kind of like me, I started going back to work, and it's nice, even though it makes me tired sometimes.
Yeah.
But to have meaning on Monday through Friday to get up at 4 in the morning, go to work at 5, get off at 1. It gives you a routine.
Now, I miss working, but not my job because I got so mental stress because they were laying off things, put more and more work on you. And just got, I would like to get a part-time job at Hobby Lobby. I'd love that. But with Grandma, because we can't, hospice comes out
Yeah.
a couple days a week, and she can't, like when we went up to Tulsa here for a little bit, me and Dave, Jeannie comes sit with Mom. So,
You still go to church on Sundays every?
I haven't been to church for
gosh, probably 3 or 4
Couple
years.
of years.
Yeah, a long time.
Y'all still go too? Or?
I do. Dave don't, but I
Yeah.
go. There. But you'd be surprised how many people don't. I mean, I think because of the virus, there's like
Oh, that's true. I didn't think about that.
100. I think we usually have 115 to 130 every Sunday. It used to be 250, average. So a lot of that. We got a lot of elderly people though in there. I see.
Want a priest come over here and give her communion? If
I give her. I'm a minister.
Oh, you bring it?
Yeah, I
Okay.
got to use her minister. Her Aunt Rosie's moving. Louise, I found it on Facebook. Louise said that Lisa put on Facebook that Rosie's selling her house in Okmulgee already. Did you know she bought one? Well, she bought a new home in Okmulgee. I don't know how long after Uncle Dave, after the ranch
It was
sold.
very long ago.
It was after the ranch sold, and Lisa bought one right by her. Then Andy's up there ranching,
Yeah.
and Louise said Lisa put it on Facebook. Rosie's selling her house, and she already bought one on Hilltop, which is a block north of Mom's, but
Muskogee?
it might be further down the newer homes because that home she had was a very
Right.
expensive home. So down
She's
the
moving to Muskogee?
Yeah, I was shocked. I don't, because their kids are there. Lisa was across the street, and Andy and the
Maybe she couldn't
Grandkids?
stand her kids.
Rosie's pretty goes a lot, so she's
How old is Rosie now?
I think she was 78 when Dave died, so she's got to
She must be 80.
she's got to be 80 now. Well, she does pretty good.
Yeah, so you and Aunt Mary and Rosie,
Aunt Becky's still alive. She's 90,
Yeah. Becky and Lily.
and she's up in Quita. I haven't heard nothing.
Lily's in Quita?
Did you ever hear anything about her?
Well,
I don't either.
Tommy's alive. I mean, he's my age.
Yeah, Tommy's the last, isn't he?
See, Tommy.
Of the brother, yeah, Becky and Tommy.
Becky and Tommy, yeah.
Becky's almost
And Tommy.
93 and Tommy's 90. Yeah.
And me.
And then you got, you got Aunt Teresa. Well, she, Dad's.
Yeah, I guess.
She had to move out of her house because she's right in that fires.
Yeah,
They're ready. She had to move out.
She goes into town during the night, stays with her sister. Then she goes back in the daytime and.
I think right now she can't get back to her house because it showed a thing on TV. Ready in
Oh.
California was all.
Well, then she probably in town with her sister.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Dad don't come over here much?
Nope, haven't seen him since March 14th.
Really?
That's when I did Mom's 90th birthday party.
Why don't he come over?
I don't know.
He just
I don't know.
maybe thinks the Corona deal or something?
No, because he can call. He's been doing that. I finally text him and Mark because Joe and Steve will pop in. I text him and Mark and said, "Mom just sitting here waiting on you. Thinks you're waiting on her to die." So Mark called right away. So he sat and talked to Mom for an hour. Never heard from Chris. I was kind of frustrated one day because Mom kept asking, you know. So, I mean, like,
You
just
know,
pick up the phone. Just
I
pick up
think,
the phone.
you know, I don't know, maybe Grandma can relate to this. You know, I vowed that as I got older, I didn't want to become a cantankerous old man and get mad at the world. But is it hard when you get older to not become angry?
What?
Is it hard not? Is it hard to not be angry in life as you get older? Because you've seen so many of your loved ones leave.
Oh,
I mean, you have tons of loved ones here still. But I'm saying your brothers and sisters, your sister-in-laws, your brother-in-laws, your.
well, you kind of just.
I mean, don't
accept
you
it.
over time get? Does it weigh down on you?
No,
The feeling of loss.
not really. It just
Mhm.
seems like that's the way it is.
You just come to terms with it, and it just is what it is. Because I mean, I know it's inevitable. We're all gonna be gone one day. But to find happiness in life,
Oh, I don't feel unhappy. I mean, I feel down sometimes, but I get tired and I just figure this is down on my last days.
right?
But I don't really.
I think even at 45 right now, I'm happy. I
Yeah.
feel bad. I'm not good with death. I don't like it, but I'm content with it because I know it's inevitable. I'm going to lose those that were older than me. You know, we never want to bury our children, but we know it's inevitable. We're going to lose the older ones in our life when it comes down to our grandparents, our aunts and uncles.
Yeah.
I'm going to be, hopefully I get to be 90 one day on the edge of a bed sitting here and my kids come by and see me and I'm thinking, well, you know, I lived a hell of a life. I did good.
Well,
I rode motorcycles across the United States 100 mile an hour everywhere and I fished and I hunted and I went to Mexico and I watched my babies get born and I raised them and I played football games in the backyard. But those days are over, a lot of them, you know.
Yeah.
Now, see, I really get to the point now in my life, I miss when my kids were younger. But do I want to go through a lot of things I've been through? No.
Not now, because you're
No.
tired and wore the fuck
Yeah.
out probably.
But if I could turn the clock back and go back when my kids were young,
yeah.
you know, before
yeah.
they start getting hormones, whatever word you
Go
want
back
to use.
into Omaha and play in that pine tree in the backyard and make clubhouses in the doghouse.
And I wish I would have realized at that time of my life, which you don't always do it, that was the simplest time of your life. The best time of your life.
Well, I
You think about it.
think back in my life, too, for as far as I can remember when I was a little kid, I can remember Depression years, I remember the war years. You know, my mind goes that way, things all I've lived through, and I remember.
Who is the first president you can remember?
Roosevelt.
Teddy Roosevelt was
That was
it?
during Depression.
Or
Yeah.
Theodore.
I always
Teddy's
remember
in it, yeah.
everybody talking about him coming in and getting us out of the Depression, things like that. And then the war came along, and that really changed everything in the country. I remember all that stuff.
Do you
That's what I
remember?
think
Do you remember
about.
seeing video of like Roosevelt and
Yeah, I remember
Stalin
that.
and Churchill talking?
Yeah, all
Remember
that
seeing
stuff
those?
I remember.
Those three leaders that come together to save the world per se.
Yeah.
If they wouldn't have got together and fought World War II, we'd all be speaking German or
In the Dutch, yeah.
well, we would be speaking German or Chinese.
Well,
Japanese.
I
Well,
remember
Japan,
Or Japanese,
World War
yeah,
II,
yeah.
when the war started, they wouldn't put all the Japanese people in this country in concentration camps. I mean, in camps, they were.
So Japanese Americans were rounded up and put in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
they
sure
were
you
put
learned
in
that. I remember.
camps.
Yeah, because they could be.
You wouldn't know a Japanese. You know, you could tell, but a German,
You couldn't tell.
that would be hard because
We'd all be in exile. Yeah.
We'd all be in jail.
Mom,
So
didn't you
paranoia set in the United States, and whenever Japan was it after they bombed Pearl Harbor or before that they rounded them up?
After.
No, that after they bombed Pearl Harbor, that's when they rounded up
All the Japanese Americans were
Yeah,
rounded
in this
up and put into concentration camps
Yeah.
in the U.S.
Yeah,
Wow.
Now, Mom, didn't you say Ethel, Grandma's sister?
yeah, she lived on in
Well,
California.
yeah, and she had a neighbor that was Japanese.
Yeah.
And and Ethel knew her, which was Grandma's sister. And her family had to go into those camps.
Yeah.
I remember hearing that story.
And they were good people. Like, the Japanese.
Well, just like
Americans.
during 9/11, Justin, look at how they treated
then
all
Germans-
the
We didn't
Muslims.
rant on them.
No, but look how
put 'em
they,
in-
well, they wouldn't do that
Well-
nowadays. But look how a lot of them were. They
Right.
were abused. And
Well,
because
I can
because of
remember
who they
Grandpa
were.
had a hat that said Toyota from the people that brought you Pearl Harbor. And you think back
Oh, I
at
don't
the,
remember that one.
it was a hat that he had. I remember was reading it. But can you imagine being in World War II and being a young individual that went to war, came back, the war was over,
Yeah.
you saw so many of your loved ones and your buddies get killed, and then come back to the United States and have to sit down at a diner where some Japanese Americans are at? Can you imagine the feeling of those young Americans that just, the war's over, but now you're having to look at the face and the features of an individual that
Yeah, sure, but I'm sure
Even
it
though-
had to be
even though
hard,
they
but yet
didn't-
they had nothing to do
they
with it,
didn't.
too. Yeah,
But can you imagine
Oh,
that
sure.
it was tough,
I'm sure.
I don't know. Dad was in
Korean.
Philippines,
No,
and then
not
he went
Korea.
to Japan after they dropped a bomb. And the Japanese, they wanted out of the country themselves. The girlfriend he had over there wanted to come home with him.
Grandpa had a Japanese girlfriend? I didn't know
I
that.
might have heard that once. I don't not recall it right now.
Can you imagine him taking a?
Oh,
A
yeah,
Japanese
the way
girlfriend,
things were in those days. A lot of men did. Or during Vietnam, a lot of men brought Vietnamese women back.
How'd you know he had a Japanese girlfriend?
He told me. How did I know? I wasn't.
Because you guys didn't
there.
get together after he
I
was back for a couple
18
years.
before I met him.
You're what?
I was 18,
18?
when I met
He's
Dad.
almost 5 years older than you, Dad. Yeah.
Well, he's older than me.
Yeah. Now he brought back, which I actually have on display in the kitchen now. When he was in Japan, he traded for a carton of cigarettes this China set, and he gave it to his mother. And then when they got married, she gave it to Mom. And I have it. I'm sure to go in there. But got a whole China set just for a carton of cigarettes from Japan.
Wow.
And I've got it now. So I'm thinking, okay, who's going to take this when I'm gone? Because to me, I love that kind of stuff.
Give it to Sarah.
I'm
Give it
hoping, but
to
she
her.
type of life she's doing,
As she gets older, she'll appreciate it.
maybe. Oh, she loves that stuff. And I think
Yeah.
Jeremiah does too. But my son's got spouses, so if the spouses don't like that stuff, he'll just go sit somewhere again in the attic or something.
Sarah would have a. To me, I don't know.
Sarah does love that stuff, and she would take care of it. But would she have it out on display? No. But I just put it out on display. So, and I've had it for years.
Well, how old are you? 50 something?
63. Has I been think 63.
Well, you might have 30 more good years than you think.
I
about.
might. Well, that's why we decided, because we can't travel because of Dave and everything. So we decided to put the money into our house, and we'll probably put one of those big old generators here too. That the house,
Yeah,
everything.
you said you
Because
got
we
one.
can't go anywhere with Dave. Who do we know
Right.
that has everything handicapped? So we just thought, well, we can't. Only trips we could take is Branson, then we go to that handicap cabin, and we go to the football games, which we didn't do this year now, of course. But so hopefully next year we can go back to a football game.
Yeah, Trump will get elected, and then we'll get back to normal again.
We'll see, but he could get elected. I'm not going to say because
I think
who
he
knows,
will.
man?
so many people are so anti-Biden, anti-Trump, but if they don't get out and vote, you don't know who's going to win. That is what it narrows down to.
Yeah.
If we don't get out and vote, and I think more people are voting because more people are
I just believe.
agitated,
I
angry.
believe
Well, I
in
think
capitalism
Trump
over
is gonna
socialism,
get it,
and I
though.
just believe that the Democrat Party pushes for the redistribution of wealth, as well as upping taxes on the ones that invest in America.
I hear that, but I also hear Republicans. They're always the ones that are wealthy and don't care about the middle class. I've always heard that.
I don't want to get into politics with you, but just think about this. How many jobs does Trump create in America? How many American jobs?
That I don't know, Justin. I don't know the numbers. I can't say.
I don't either, but a lot. Would you agree a lot? He owns
Some when the
motels.
times were getting better.
He owns golf courses. He owns
Yeah.
motels.
Yes.
He owns restaurants.
But he's
So,
also $750 billion in debt too.
I don't know that.
I've heard that.
Well, I'm okay in a small number. At one time, I was a little over $1 million in debt.
Okay.
I'm just a small spoke in the wheel. He's a larger spoke. Okay, so to make money, unfortunately, you have to be in
yeah.
debt. You have to.
Yeah.
And is he on the threshold of bankruptcy? I wouldn't think so. He's probably a pretty good businessman. I mean, he's making
His
money.
age, who cares?
Right? Yes. But I don't know. I think if a business creates jobs in America, they should get tax incentives to not pay those taxes. Because let's just say Georgia boots come back or Levi jeans come back to America and they're made America exclusive. And let's say they employ 50,000 Americans. The people that take the risk are the people that own the business. They shouldn't have to pay as much in taxes because now you've got 50,000 Americans paying income tax. And they're also creating product to be sold in America but also sold overseas. So they're creating jobs. When an American takes a risk in creating jobs for American workers, they should be tax incentives for them.
Maybe tax incentives, but not, I think everybody should pay taxes. Maybe different percentages for different, I think.
I
That's
don't
just,
know. It's just
'cause
say,
okay, you remember
let's
those
say
taxes
Trump
and stuff?
employed 2 million Americans. Let's say he gave 2 million Americans jobs and everybody was making $50,000 or more a year depending on what position it was.
Mhm.
And he was making money off that, but he was also creating jobs for Americans. Why should he have to pay them Americans? Or why would you have to pay taxes?
I think everybody should have
Because
to pay taxes.
but he employed 2 million
That's
Americans.
wonderful, but that's just part of the business world.
So let's just say he takes that jobs and he says, okay, America, I'm not going to employ 2 million Americans. I'm going to go employ 2 million Pakistanis. He took his jobs out of here.
Yeah.
Because American Democrats wanted to tax the fire out of him to where his business couldn't make money here. But he took 2 million jobs out of America. When you could have left him
Like I said,
alone.
I'm not real smart on politics, I'm not going to lie, but I believe everybody should have to pay their taxes, and every different percentage depending on where you're at on your income bracket.
I agree.
Because that money goes to
But if you
Social
create
Security.
American jobs,
If the people aren't
there
paying
should be
taxes,
incentives
Justin,
to not pay taxes.
they like the Social Security, all the taxes we've paid on it in our whole life. Now they're saying probably in 20 years or less than 20 years now, 15, that people on Social Security may have to take a 25% cut.
You know how you could stop that? Create American jobs. Bring companies back to America. That's what Trump's trying to
That's
do.
probably
Bringing
definitely
steel
too.
companies
Because you
back.
got to have
He's-
jobs to take
to create
taxes
that
out
money.
in order to have that
Right.
tax.
If let's just say half of America is on social services,
Yeah.
we don't hold taxes out of that.
Okay, social services.
Like Social Security and all that stuff.
Okay.
You can't re-tax the money that's been
No,
put
you
back.
can't.
So in essence, when you bring jobs back to America,
Okay.
that creates more revenue to put back
Oh,
into these.
yeah, of course. I can because we're taking taxes out.
And that's
right
what-
now, it's really bad.
If
And
you-
that's only understandable because so many people lost their jobs.